For those of you that can't actually view the screen, we'll talk to it a bit. Joe from NorCal. Right, Joe? Nice to have you. Egan, welcome.
Aloha, Brent.
Aloha. We've got a large number that are joining us, so thank you, team, for joining us today and investing your time. Allison from Austin, glad you're with us. So this call about lifestyle has actually been taking place for a couple of months, but it's been very informal and with a very small group of us, primarily from Southern California, myself, Amanda in Northern California has been a part of some of the calls, and then a couple of team members from Calgary and Ontario. So it's been a very small group of us that just, again, informally have been chatting about lifestyle. But there's so much that's happening with lifestyle these days that I thought the time was appropriate to get all of our lifestyle professionals together from across North America and really begin to chat about what's happening in our lifestyle space and really give us a fun opportunity to collaborate and share ideas and maybe have some guest speakers and things like that. So that's the purpose. I'm going to take you through a presentation. We have a couple of guest speakers today, two from the Brookfield team, and then we have one team member from Associa that'll be talking to us today as well. So again, I'm sharing on some technology called Sway. It's like a turbocharged PowerPoint. Just so everyone knows, I am recording the call today for the benefit of those that can't join us or any that would like to, review the discussion afterwards. So I'm going to move on to the second slide here and show you our agenda. So again, I am sharing the screen. So our agenda for today, wanted to talk a little bit about our values and how community relates to those values. I want to talk about our team, the collective team that's on this call today, and these monthly calls and what the thoughts and ideas are there. We'll have some learning, some sharing, and then we'd also like some feedback and participation as well. And we'll do some fun things concerning that specifically. So that's the plan for today. We're scheduled to go 1 hour until 11 a.m. Pacific time. And good to see many others joining as well. Just if you would start your IM and send me your name and location would be terrific. Greg, thank you. Opal, I see you're there as well. Great. That's terrific. As I mentioned to the group, I'm recording the call. Ideally, the technology is going to work fine. If for some reason we get disconnected, just redial in. Or if anything happens where you can't hear, there's another issue, just feel free to send the IM. I'm kind of moderating the call today, and we'll be watching that as well as saying a few things as well during the call. So the next slide, wanted to talk a little bit about value. Passion, integrity, community are our values at Brookfield. And really those of us on the call are the leaders who bring the passion to our communities, really bring community together. And it's really that sense of community that brings our homeowners together. And we leaders on the call are the ones that plan it, that execute it, that make it happen. So we're vitally important to delivering on our values, especially on the community side, but certainly bringing that passion and the integrity that's so important to Brookfield. So on our next slide, it's been said that pioneers must have the vision to see what no one else can see. So in many regards, we're pioneers, both in the industry, within Brookfield, and many things we do, both from the pioneering of opening a brand new community and helping prospective home buyers to see the vision for a community. And that's both in terms of the physical appearance, but it's also the non-physical appearance as well. That is the lifestyle. So we on this call very much are pioneers. So we want to do some things today that will help us kind of pioneer in this space through our discussions, and also a little bit have some fun on this call as well, kind of a moderated call, if you will, almost conducted a little bit like maybe the Oprah Winfrey show, where we have some discussion, have some fun, do some videos. So I'd like to try some technology with you that I hopefully will be valuable for making this call very enjoyable. And my goal is that you have enough fun on this call, there's enough interactivity and information you get and value from the call that you want to come back every month and invest an hour of your time. So that's the plan. So with that said, I'm going to try technology with you here. That's fun. It's very interactive. It's called Slido, S-L-I-D-O. So what I'd like you all to do is you can visit and open a browser and go to slido.com. That's S-L-I-D-O.com. Or do it on your phone, and that can be easy, so you can watch the presentation and do this on your phone. So this is going to allow you to interact with us during this call, and we'll do some polling. You can put questions up through Slido. We're going to try the technology. Some of us on the call have used this before, and it's a lot of fun to really engage individuals in a large group like this. And looking right now, we probably have about 20 or so on the call. And I see Christelle and Amanda have joined us, so welcome. Great to have you. So you're going to go to slido.com, slido.com, and you're going to use the code BRP for Brookfield Residential Properties, BRP. What I'm going to do is go into Slido itself, so you're going to see me sharing this, and this is going to be a presentation view that we'll watch. So I'll walk you through it, slido.com and then BRP. What you're going to see on the participant side, if you're on their phone, for example, is this right here. So there's a place for questions and polls, and we're going to start with polls. So is there anyone that was not able to navigate to that? You can IM me. Julie, I know you're on the phone, so we'll talk through it.
Yeah, I actually got it on my phone, Brent.
Great, okay, terrific. So I'm going to start the first question here for you, and we're going to go into the presentation view. So the question for you now to start is, which superpower would you like to have? The choices are teleportation, mind reading, invisibility, flying, or you already have a superpower. And you'll see as you vote, we're going to see a counter here. So we've had 5 so far, and we're going to see the percentages here come across. Good, we have 13 so far. Teleportation is still in the lead. And now we have ties here. Mind reading has jumped up, flying as well. Now, surprisingly, only 13% of you said you already have a superpower.
That's funny.
That's good. So we have 16 that responded. And it looks like that's it right there. So 31% of you said you'd like to be able to read minds. 25% teleportation, flying, 25% invisibility, 12%, and then 12% of you, roughly 1 or 2, said that you already have a superpower. So that's great. We'll talk to you later about what that superpower is. So that's terrific. We're going to do I'm just learning kind of this tool too, and thanks to Amanda Stone and our NorCal team for helping me with learning to use this. So I'm going to stop that poll. We're going to move to the next question. So just stay on your phone or logged in. What word or words do you use to refer to community events and activities? Do you refer to it as lifestyle, as placemaking, community events, community gathering, or do you use another term? Just trying to get a feel for kind of our reference here and what we use across North America. No right or wrong answer here. You may select more than one here. The nice thing about Slido 2, it's recording our results as well. So I'll be able to share with you information. And David, thank you for texting me. You said you couldn't connect to the screen. So I appreciate you you sending me your feedback though and comments. I see those coming across on my text. Good, and we have 18 now that have voted so far. So lifestyle and community events, 33%. So those are the terms that you use. Placemaking, 17%, community gathering, and then 6% use another term. Okay, good. So thank you. So for the purpose of this call, I'll typically be referring to the term lifestyle. Many of our leaders have the title of a lifestyle manager, director, professional. So I think commonplace, we tend to use lifestyle. At least that's somewhat commonplace here in Southern California, Northern California. It's nice to see that the reference also kind of community events is used as well. But I just wanted you to be aware that regardless of that term lifestyle, placemaking, community events, when I use the term lifestyle, I'm referring to essentially all of those, both the events as well as what makes up lifestyle, kind of combined for the purpose of this call. So, okay, thank you. So I'm going to stop that multiple choice, and we have one more here before we move on. And this is an open-ended question. Lifestyle or placemaking is blank. So when you think of lifestyle or placemaking, you can use one or more words. And then this is going to be an interesting display that comes up on the screen that you'll see, that we're actually going to see these words or terms come up in kind of a bubble format. So we've got one reply, social fabric. So lifestyle or placemaking is social fabric. Good. The experience. Good. Lifestyle or placemaking is creating a community. Yes, quality of life. Building community. Good. Community connection, heart, memories, emotional, happiness, making the experience, creating a community, inclusiveness, connection. Where we have multiple individuals on the call that have used the same word, that word's going to appear larger on the screen. That's kind of a neat aspect of Slido. So the words that are most frequently used right now are community, connection, and heart. Speaks a lot to the certainly the emotional side of lifestyle. Good. Heart also has been used several times as well. When I think heart, I think passion. Very good. So those are 15 responses. Good. Well, thank you. Thank you for those responses. I hope that worked well. It seemed like it was, at least on my end, as far as Slido and the interaction there. So we all understand that lifestyle is very important today, and I appreciate your comments on this. I have asked guest speaker Dave Orr, who is the president of Associate in Houston, to join us. Dave has a tremendous background in lifestyle. He has, a broad range of experience as well with hospitality. Dave has been very much involved in helping Associate to create their lifestyle services division. So I've asked David to join us today as a guest and talk to us a little bit more about lifestyle, a little more of a macro level, if you will. So if we take a look at the picture from North America, I'm going to talk to Dave on a couple of questions here. Now, just for those of you that don't know, Associate, and I've got it up here on the slide, and I'll read from the slide. Associate is a community, property, and lifestyle management services company with headquarters in Dallas and regional offices across North America. The Brookfield, Southern California region uses Associate as our exclusive one HOA, we call it, provider of community management and lifestyle services. They have a lot of expertise there. We've been a partner with Associate for about 3 years now, both in community management but also in lifestyle. So Dave has a wonderful perspective, which is why I wanted him to share with all of us, again, a little more kind of a global perspective, if you will, a couple of questions. So David, we have you, if you'll test your audio.
I'm here.
Terrific. Good. Coming through well. So David, the first question to you, because you had mentioned that you couldn't see the screen, so I'll talk you through the questions here. First is lifestyle seen as important to homeowners today across North America who lived in planned common interest communities, meaning those that have an HOA or professionally managed? Is it seen as important today with those homeowners? And if so, why?
I think maybe more so today. I think we've seen peaks and valleys when it comes to the focus in this particular area. But, when you take a look at communities, regardless of what the design is, whether it's condo, it's high-rise, it's single-family HOA, each one of them has a lifestyle. This lifestyle is actually, this might be part of the surrounding area. Maybe it's close to a metro area. There's so many different things that you could identify as somebody's quote-unquote lifestyle. And then we take it to a different level and say, what about the lifestyle within the community? And so, one of the things that you take a look at is, what are the things that drive individuals to a community? The segment of the markets that y'all are focused on and that we focus on as well, understanding, the importance of creating something that they want to come back to each day, whether it's as simple as a neighborhood get-together or whatever that function may be. The unique part is it could be just the closeness of the homes and having that sense of security, creating, having the ability to walk across the street and know that you've got a neighborly experience just waiting for you, right next door, the friends that you just haven't met yet. So, and it really comes in all shapes and sizes, whether it's from millennials right up to, our 55 and better community where, they just have had so much experience in wanting to have fun. They don't want it to necessarily stop. So, I don't think it's ever really stopped completely, Brent. I think it's just come in a lot of different shapes and sizes. And, if you take a look at the different things that have been offered over the years, it continues to grow, especially with the way like our urban developments are coming back and seeing the type of lifestyle being created in those, those arenas.
Mm-hmm. Good. Thank you, Dave. And because you provide services for a number of different builders across North America, Dave, which builders, in your opinion, are elevating the value of lifestyle, and how are they doing that today?
So, well, of course, Brookfield is, with a keen focus on it in a unique way.
Good.
I think Toll Brothers has been Pulte Homes, K. Hovnanian. If you take a look at Toll Brothers and the different product types, a lot of times it's in their more traditional 55 and better community. Same thing with Pulte and their Del Webb product. I think Toll is probably recognizing today that there's no such thing as not having lifestyle in any and every community, and that'll be a focus of theirs. And I think it's almost through osmosis this happens with developers if they want to keep up with the times, what's attracting people in there. They recognize that, you need to, what attracts somebody to a community, if I put my sales hat on for a moment, those are the things, one of the components that's going to be critical is what drives you there, what's unique about it, what's the proposition, and, what's that X factor that my community may have that fits me and my lifestyle that's appropriate.
So there's definitely that marketing proposition for prospective buyers. And when you talk about that X factor and considering kind of the vision for the community and how I might envision myself living in that community and experiencing all the things about the community.
Yeah, exactly. And if you look at, the importance of, if I can talk about Brookfield for a moment, the uniqueness of what you're focused on is you take the segmentation, right? There's a buyer that comes in and they're buying their first home, and the purposeful goal would be to have them purchase a Brookfield home no matter what stage of life they're in, throughout every stage, and right through their last home that they purchased, right? That's perfect world. And so then how do you create that, what's the proposed plan in order to do that? And so here's one of them, and that's lifestyle. What does it do for, the keen buyer? You have to look at what's the value. How do we keep up value? If I walk into a community where people care, you've built community, you have a lifestyle there, guess what it does to the actual prices of your home? Does it, maintain it? Does it increase it? And I think we all know the answer to that one.
Good. Thank you. This next question wasn't in any way meant to give us a pat on the back in Brookfield, but I did want to give us a sense of where you feel we are, Dave, as far as Brookfield relative to others in the industry, and where do we stand? And you can certainly be relative on that, but are we somewhat pioneering this effort? Are we behind the curve? Are we somewhat kind of in the middle? Where would you generally perceive us in total from what you know of Brookfield and what we're doing in terms of lifestyle?
So from this moment today, and what I know perfectly about what you all are doing is, I'll say leader, and I'm not saying that because I'm on a call with you guys. I've been through this 18 years of being on the developer side with Pulte, purchased Del Webb, went through the experiences, watched what, here's the interesting part, watched what Pulte did with Del Webb, and I don't want to say that product has lost its value because the Del Webb buyers tend to be out there, though what it was in the past versus what it is today, I'm not so sure it's exactly the same. You're taking a little bit of a different approach, staying active on it and engaging everybody, where I think what I saw back in 2002 to say 2007 was, the way that the operations were run, what they looked at relative to support of this, and maybe not a true dive in or understanding of what the value of having, this design and mindset towards, supporting lifestyle in the communities, which is just not that difficult to do. So it's not probably got as much of the strength and power that it used to. That'll probably change one day, but you'll be pleased at the end result of what happens, because there's an exponential in here that is almost incalculable when it comes to what this can create. People are going to talk about Brookfield communities in the different places they go, and they're going to seek out Brookfield communities because they know what they can expect when they purchase a Brookfield home. Mm-hmm. It's the easiest way to say it without, and I could go deep, but I promised I wouldn't talk too much. So I like the direction. Great. It's just a great move on y'all's part, and it's going to be a front runner. It is a front runner right now because nobody else is promoting this kind of stuff today. Toll will do it eventually, is my guess, but I don't know that they'll do it at this level. They're a bunch of steps behind for sure, just from what I've seen.
Well, good to hear. And part of the purpose of this call is certainly to help all of us consider more the way we can stay in the forefront for all the reasons that you mentioned, Dave, and the important value for us to be relevant and certainly continue to support an important value of ours, community, and to all the things you mentioned as well, to keep Brookfield top of mind with our homeowners for many, many years. Dave, the last question then to you is, what are some of the things that Associa is doing across North America in terms of bringing the value of lifestyle to communities that you manage? And you can talk specifically to Brookfield, but if you have one or two examples from other builders that you'd like to share, that would be great.
Well, I think we spent the last almost 2 years really, I'll say, defining what this program needs to look like. How do you bring the lifestyle program into any community? It's happening all over the place, but I don't think that there's been the concerted effort, Brent, that we, heck, you and I've talked about for going on almost 3 years, I think. But, with the focus of really trying to develop something and put it in black and white as we've done, to give direction on, well, how do we do this? So if somebody's not perfectly sure of it, we have a, what do we call it, the lifestyle in a box that will really give that ultimate guidance to anybody that's going to participate in it to get a better understanding of what it supports. Our initial push has really been to do it where we know we have lifestyle folk in place, like Letitia and some others, and some of these folks are already gifted with the ability to create momentum in a community and get it. And so the thing that we focused on amongst all of the groups is, one, put aside for a moment who the developer is, but let's seek out who the lifestyle directors are and the folks that are involved with that side of it and connect them. So there is no boundary when it comes to sharing of information and making sure that, they're picking each other's brains and really driving. These are associate people, of course, so, we're really making sure that they're gravitating towards the same net results. That'll vary, from community to community, dependent on the needs and wants in the different regions of the marketplace. So before too long, Dustin, who couldn't make the call today, has made an initial call and will continue to reach out to the lifestyle directors and really make sure that we have a complete support system in place for the different areas of the marketplace to, a more regionalized focus, a local focus, starting out of home office with a team of folks that will be there to support every one of the different lifestyle directors that we have out there.
That's great, Dave. Thanks for mentioning that, too, because I wanted everyone on the call to also be aware, as part of Dave's comments, that in addition to this particular call, which, again, I envision is a way for us to collaborate as lifestyle professionals across North America, as Dave mentioned, Associa and their lifestyle services division is prepared to help support our lifestyle professionals, whether or not you're in a community that is managed by Associa or not managed by Associa. And so we'll be able to work with them and draw from them. So that was one reason why I wanted to introduce Dave on this call. And he mentioned the name Dustin, who I work with as well. He's based out of Dallas, and Dustin will be pretty much at the forefront in helping us with a lot of what we do to build some of that infrastructure, as well as some of the tools that we can share with our lifestyle team. And so, Dave, thank you. For everyone on the call, just in the interest of time, I'll ask if you'll just hold questions to the end of our call, and then time permitting, we'll have you ask questions of any of our presenters today. So, Dave, thank you for taking the time. I really appreciate you sharing some comments with us. Your feedback was wonderful. I'm going to advance our slide now, and a couple of thoughts from my perspective is that, and really this is speaking to what Dave said, is that community and lifestyle are important today. And the reasons why is that really inspiring and thriving communities ensure a positive word of mouth and fulfill our brand's promise. That's Brookfield's promise. Also, lifestyle ensures sustainable brand awareness and value in our communities long term. We saw that in some of the comments that you came up with and some of the things that Dave reflected on as well. And then also something that's relatively new within Brookfield, and many of you have heard about this, is that we have a new initiative called Customer for Life, and it's somewhat combined with generally a term that we're using is called customer connection, which is really just customer service or customer experience. The term Customer for Life and customer connection are more at a North American level. This comes out of the leadership retreat in Austin that took place just about 30 days ago. So these initiatives you'll be hearing more about, but lifestyle definitely supports at those levels of Customer for Life and our customer connection. So we are certainly the pioneers. Dave said we're leaders, which I'm glad to hear that. We can't rest on our laurels, certainly. And from my perspective, I don't necessarily have a way to gauge that. That's why I was very interested in having Dave give us that perspective, because he is one of those professionals that's very much involved in lifestyle and community management. He has a feel for that. But let's set the pace, and I would say let's keep the pace as well as far as Brookfield is concerned. And I think really the sky's the limit, and there's nowhere to go but up as far as us continuing to be leaders and leveraging lifestyle in an even greater way to help us in terms of both Customer for Life, for our sales and marketing, many things that we can do that really support our key value. I'm going to move to the next slide now. And I wanted to share just a little bit then about this particular call in this group so you have an idea. I envision this as a means for us to leverage our collective ideas and share ideas across North America, to leverage technology. That's why I wanted to use Slido. I'm even using this new tool called Sway that's part of Office 365 that any Brookfield team member has access to or can get access to. It's kind of a PowerPoint on steroids, PowerPoint turbocharged. It's cool. If you use PowerPoint, you're comfortable, it works well. But if you're doing presentations, let's say for homeowners, or have kind of grand visual events, or even using this for website purposes, and a couple of initiatives in Brookfield have actually used Sway as part of Compass, our intranet. So it's got some powerful features to it. Some of it's a little restrictive, and I'm still learning it, but it's cool visually. It's got great visual appeal to it. So some of the technology I'm looking at, Skype, which we're using today for collaboration, Sway, the presentation part, Slido to get your ideas, your opinions, and your feedback. And I'm open to other tools too that you've used and would recommend that we try. The other thing too I mentioned on leveraging in the bullet point is that we want to leverage our collective experience as well. You know, what's working well in one area, one region that we can share with others. Maybe other areas where maybe we've tried something and we stumbled a little bit. That's also a valuable experience for us to be able to learn from collectively. And then the other point there on the slide is sharing. And so this team is really about best practices, ideas, guest speakers, and having fun. Dave was one of our guest speakers, and we have a couple of others that are going to present as well from the Brookfield team. So I think it's as important to talk about what we are as also what we're not. This particular group is not a new council. When we started the smaller group many months ago, we said we don't want a new council. We've got councils. We're all busy. We just don't have the time to be involved in another council. This isn't meant to be a subcommittee either, where now we're going to do work on lifestyle stuff. That's not it. you are professionals that day to day are involved in lifestyle, and you've got those daily commitments. This also isn't about adding work to our plates. The only request may be of those if you're asked to maybe present a little 5 or 10 minute every month just to give some thought to it. But again, these will be things you live day to day, so it'll be very simple. So that's what we're not about. This is really just getting together monthly and sharing ideas. I also have some thoughts on some other collaborative type of tools that we can use outside of these calls if we want to share documents, share experiences. So there are some things that we can do with that technology, and we'll be sharing more about that as well. So with that, we have another guest presenter or presenters with us, Sandra and Opal, who are in Playa Vista. Sandra and Opal, great to have you today. I wanted to frame this session just to provide kind of a video overview of Playa Vista, and you'll see I've got that in the slide. For those of you on the call that may not be able to see Sway, or if for some reason that's not working, or when you try to click on the video, if it doesn't work, I've sent you the separate link in an email earlier this morning, just about an hour before the call. So I want to go through this. It typically doesn't play well on Skype, so I'll play it, and you'll have to let me know how the technology works afterwards. But again, if it's not working for you, click the link, and then we'll come back. Sandra, I'm not sure if it'll play over it. If you want to talk to it, if you can see the video, but I'm going to go ahead and play this video because there is music in the background. There's no talking in this. The only audio, again, is the music. So it's just the visual to give folks an idea. Sandra, are you hearing the music on your end?
And no music
Okay.
on our.
Okay.
Yeah.
So those of you that want the full experience with the music, you can click on that. Sandra, if you can talk just a little bit about the video as we play through it and you see it there, what we're looking at.
Well, we're looking at a very unique community here in Southern California, Playa Vista. We have a mixed use here with residential housing, we have commercial, we have retail, and it's just a wonderful urban community where we encourage people to get out on their bikes and to walk and to create experiences with not just with their neighbors, but bring their families in, people that are visiting from out of state. We really collaborate on so many fronts with local law enforcement for National Night Out, with our public officials. It's just a beautiful place to live, work, and play, really.
Absolutely. And Sandra, give us a little sense of price point at Playa Vista.
Well, right now we've got the collection, and we have Jewel here. So, we're talking about in the high 2 million up to, the high 4 right now is our price point. We've got Sea Bluff, New Home Company is here now. So they're starting at the, a little over $1 million right now. Mm-hmm. So it retails, anywhere from, I want to say, 900 for maybe a 1-bedroom, onwards and upwards.
Got it. Thank you. And then, Sandra, you and Opal, if you'll just share kind of your responsibility, your Brookfield team members, but share a little bit about your responsibility and your involvement with Playa.
Yeah, so we are the experience team here, so we wear a couple of hats. On the commercial end, we act as the property managers for the 4 parks, streetscapes, and medians. So we collaborate with all the various property owners here, from Google to Hines to Titch and Spear to Ratkovich, IMAX, and so forth. And we maintain all the parks. We've got a team of security members here. We've got porters and electricians and you name it. There's always something new and exciting here every day. It's kind of like running a city. We also take all the park reservations here for the 4 parks. But it really helps us to get to know all of the employees here. We've got about 53 different companies here, with close to, I want to say, 5,500 people that come here to Playa Vista to work each day. So that's on the POA end. On the other end, we are the Playa Vista Community Services. So we do all the event planning throughout all of Playa Vista. So that might be anywhere from, movies in the park to concerts in the park to National Night Out, or it could be something for residents only at one of the clubhouses where we would do Recently, we did art and wine. We actually did a Survey Monkey at the beginning of the year to get feedback from people, not just residents, but just the general public, to see what they liked and what they wanted. And so we're bringing some new events this year. We've got bingo night coming up. So we're excited about that. We've got puppy hour. We're going to do a casino night. So we've got, I think, about a dozen new events this year based on their feedback. And some of the events that we really couldn't manage that were much bigger and they asked that they wanted, like a Mardi Gras event. I worked with Runway Retail and their marketing team, and I was able to give them feedback and let them know, hey, this might be a great event for you guys to host over at Runway Retail. So they've been doing those things. So it's been a great collaboration.
That's great, Sandra. Wonderful. You guys are doing some amazing things there. I also wanted you to talk to the team a little bit about your newsletter, because in different regards, those that manage communities may have a newsletter. I think in particular you do a wonderful job, you and Opal, with your Playa Vista newsletter, so I wanted to share that. For those on the call, I'm going to share this online and ask Sandra just to talk a little bit about the newsletter, the inspiration, what's the process that goes into planning it, as Sandra and Opal are really kind of the editors, creators, designers of this, just to tell us a little bit more about how that happens. For those of you that can't see this, I've also shared a link, so you can view that now or at a later time. So I'm sharing that on the screen. Sandra, if you'll take us through a little bit of the newsletter, the inspiration, and some of the key aspects of the newsletter, and then again how you kind of plan it and publish it.
Sure. So first I want to recognize our marketing team here, Allison, Gerard, and our team here, as well as our great ad agency, Gun Jerkins, because it really starts with them. We meet weekly. So the experience team, marketing, and our ad agency, we meet once a week for about 2 hours, and we talk about what's going on in the overall community. And that's how we collaborate together on what is relevant and what the main message needs to be each and every month. So, for example, we met yesterday. So we're already talking about our May e-blast. So we're about a month in advance on all our e-blasts. So, we felt that it was important to kind of get everyone excited about all our summer events that are coming up. A couple of months ago, it might have been about, hey, guess what? The Rams are here on campus. So we collaborate together as a team because we touch all fronts here. We're very involved with PVPAL, which is the Master Homeowners Association. On the commercial end, we're dialed in. On the retail end, we're dialed in, and we're obviously bargaining with all the housing products here too. So it's a collaborative effort, and it kind of, we help each other. We thrive together, and we help each other. And what we have is really beautiful content each and every month. I think we've got about 18,000 people currently on our interest list alone.
Wow.
And I think it's close to 23,000 on Facebook. We recently started doing posts about events so that people can kind of click if you're interested, if you're going. We've seen an uptick in our Facebook likes and how those things are getting shared. It's been really tremendous.
Good. Is that a closed group or is that open to the public?
No, so we've got our own Playa Vista Facebook page. So you can go in there and like it. And now we're, like I said, we're doing all these events, and it's interesting because if you go on and you hit that you're going, you're interested, all your friends on your Facebook page will then see that you're liking something, and so it just it has legs, many legs.
Great. And the format of the newsletter, Sandra, is usually pretty consistent. Is that right, with kind of just a couple of segments like we were seeing here? Is that correct? You stay fairly consistent in the look of the newsletter?
Correct. And as soon as that broadcasts, we actually update all our monthly blog posts as well. So they will highlight whatever our events are in the community, maybe classes that Elevation Fitness is offering at the resort. So, like for the May e-blast, we're already talking about highlighting more of kind of the Silicon Beach living here and highlight the collection, Sea Bluff and Jewel. So that would be the top fold of our May e-blast.
Great. Excellent. Well, you and your team do a terrific job, and the marketing team and all that you work with Gun Jerkins, it's always very impressive. And for those on the call, you can sign up to receive that email, and that will I'm sure inspire some ideas for you as well. So Sandra, thank you for sharing what goes into putting together that newsletter every month, and congratulations on the success you've had with it.
Thank you.
So I'm going to bounce back over to our presentation, and wanted to have one of our other teams talk to us as well. So I want to talk to you about and introduce you to Kissing Tree. For those of you that don't know Kissing Tree, I'd asked Kevin Wilson, our lifestyle director at Kissing Tree, to join us. He's actually doing a pretty extensive video shoot today for their golf course that's opening this weekend. So Kevin and I had chatted early this morning, and there was a full crew of videographers there, and he thought he was maybe going to be able to jump on the call, and he texted me a short time before we started and said he was just too tied up. So I want to share a video of Kissing Tree, brief video. It does not have any talking to it. I just wanted you to get a sense of Kissing Tree. I know that Colette is on the call. Colette actually is the lifestyle director at Easton Park for the Austin region. So Colette, are you able to see the screen okay? So as I show the video, we can talk to Kissing Tree a little bit, you and I?
Yes, I can.
Terrific. Okay, well, I'm going to show the video. So I appreciate Colette helping to fill in for Kevin again. Colette is actually lifestyle director in an entirely separate community, but I thought the two of us could talk a little bit, and then I'll share some of the notes that Kevin had texted me as well. So this is a little overview on Kissing Tree. It is an active adult community, 55 plus, or 55 and better, as Dave said earlier, which I liked. And I think, Colette, we just celebrated the 1-year anniversary of the groundbreaking. Is that right?
Yes. Yes, it is.
So very iconic. The team there, the marketing team, has done a great job with really the branding of Kissing Tree. I know that the results have been really phenomenal. I see it looks like that we have a couple of others that are on the call that may be able to talk to it as well. But you can see here the focus on the lifestyle they put in place. Tabitha, I see you're on the call. Are you able to hear okay? Would you like to make some comments about Kissing Tree and kind of some of the most recent success and what's happening there at Kissing Tree?
Yeah, I can hear you guys. Can you hear me?
We can, yes. Thank you.
Okay, good. It's so great to see those clips because a lot of the lifestyle that we're showing right off the bat was from our initial event about a year ago when we really had nothing except a couple shipping containers that were a temporary facility. But what we had was a lot of excitement, and we had people who were invested early on. So those smiles and that sort of all of those conversations and relationships, we pulled all the cameras out, the same camera crew that's with Kevin right now, to come and pull that storyline out so that as we were going through the startup of the community, we always put the people first and the physical construction and amenities second. So it's neat to see that. We now have a wonderful bank of assets that show those residents and lifestyle, and they really tell the whole story. Marketing and all of us as individual employees really try not to be in any of it, so that it's those residents talking about what they've built in the community, because they all sort of have this great ownership of it. Kevin Wilson is obviously an all-star. Everybody speaks so highly of him, and he really just lets them feel that each one of these clubs and organizations that they're launching as inaugural groups are really their own to own. So he's done a great job with all of that.
That's terrific. Tabitha, I'm glad you're on the call because you were able to very well speak to Kissing Tree and help us out in explaining it. Tabitha, if you'd also share your role in Kissing Tree.
Sure. So I'm the marketing manager. I came on shortly after we physically broke ground in February of 2016. So before I came on, Tammy and the team here had really built out the brand, and so for the last 2 years, it's been the execution of what that really means to be an authentic community that's customer obsessed. How do we do that? And at the end of the day, it means that we're taking care of those residents, because we know at a high velocity community like ours, like Playa Vista, all of these that are community based, the residents will be our sales team for sure. So that's been our key focus out of the gate. There's a couple sound clips where residents talk about they can't believe they hired their lifestyle manager before there were ever residents. So they know that we're really invested in that experience. You guys got to see a little bit of the tribes and a further development of all of this. So maybe in a future call, Tammy could talk a little bit about that. But that's kind of the next level of it.
Yeah, great. Thank you.
Yeah.
So Kevin had texted me that Kissing Tree is hosting a super senior pickleball tournament in June. So Tabitha, what the heck is pickleball?
So pickleball is one of the most popular sports for our age demographic. It's actually great. We have room for 16 of them. We only have 8, and we have more than any other community in the state of Texas with 8. A lot of other communities are converting their tennis courts to pickleball. So I like to call it a shrunken down ping pong. Or an oversized ping pong. Other people call it a shrunken down tennis. So the courts are smaller. It's a hard plastic wiffle ball and hard paddles, just like you would see in ping pong or something like that. A lot of it happens in hand movements and the wrist, similar to a ping pong, but you're on that court getting some good exercise and moving around like tennis. Really popular sport.
Got it. That's great. And I see here, and I'm now showing the Kissing Tree website. And I think it's terrific what you're showing here and all the different events, golf, bocce ball, and then here's the pickleball, so showing just an idea of what that looks like. Definitely see what you were saying there, Tabitha, about kind of a smaller tennis court feel to it, but see the paddles and then the wiffle ball that's used as well. I didn't get a chance to try it, unfortunately, when I was in Austin, but I know a number that played, and it gives you a very good workout, doesn't it?
It's a fantastic workout, and there's all kinds of funny rules that come with it. Our T-shirts are really popular because there's terms like stay out of the kitchen and all kinds of stuff. So what we've done in Kevin's example of bringing this big inter-community tournament down is we get them all in our gear, and then they go back to their competitors' communities all excited about Kissing Tree and wearing our promotional stuff all over the place. So definitely has been an incredible marketing tool for us, the success of this sport and kind of the foresight that we had in knowing where it was going.
Wow, congratulations. That's great. And then, Tabitha, some other exciting things Kevin texted me about that's happening at Kissing Tree. Live music, Tuesday series in May.
Yeah, so another piece of it is our amenity campus is actually 20 acres. So with only, 100 finished homes, there's not a lot of activity. It feels empty. So our goal really is to continue to bring our gated community, connect it with the community there in San Marcos and in Central Texas. So the live music series is actually to help us activate these big amenities while our residents are still moving in, so that when you come in, it feels active and full of life and energy, as opposed to sort of this empty facility while we grow. So we're really excited about that music series for sure.
Terrific. That's great. And then Kevin had also texted that you now have over 20 interest groups meeting on a regular basis. He said plus fitness classes, day trips, bocce ball league, cooking demos, happy hours, special themed social events, and other exciting events. So lots of exciting things happening at Kissing Tree. It's great. Congratulations on all the success there, Tabitha, and to the entire team. And thanks for helping out today in the call as well.
Sure.
You helped to really share the vision and the passion and all the excitement that's happening there. So thank you, Tabitha.
Yep.
So we'll go back to the presentation. So now we all know a little bit more about pickleball and about the great things happening in Kissing Tree. So we're going to go back to Slido. So everyone get out your iPhones, your cell phones, or log in, go back to Slido. And I'm going to ask a couple of questions. So I'm going to stop the prior poll here. So our next question, and it's coming up now on Slido, is what topics would be of interest to you for next month's call? You can reflect on the presentations from today, any other thoughts that might be useful for you, specific topics. What may be of interest to you? So the poll is open. There we go. We got some coming. Budgeting for lifestyle. Okay, good. And again, Slido is going to capture all of this for us, which is what makes it a really pretty cool tool that we can record this. Then I'm going to reflect on what we can talk about and establish for an agenda for next year. So lots of good comments coming in. Experience. Okay, talking a little bit more about the experience. Play. Standardized terminologies. Okay. Looks like roles. Okay, we talked about different roles in lifestyle. Talk about more about associate. Okay. The customer experience. Experience now, as we get a number of comments, the most frequently occurring word has been experience so far. Challenges. Okay. Breakdown events. So there's some words that looks like in parentheses. What? I see what in it, so there may have been a couple words in between there. Community partnerships, okay. Good. Demographics. Measuring success, okay. Good. Budgeting for lifestyle. Tools, very good, okay. Lots of good ideas, lots of good thoughts here. Amenities. Budgeting and funding. Liability concerns, all right. Market. Good, so that's 14 responses. Looked like we've come to the end of that. So good, thank you. So we've got those captures. That will be very helpful in thinking about future agendas. So thank you all for the feedback. So the two most frequently occurring words were customer experience and experience. So very good, thank you on that. So I'm going to stop that poll, and then we're going to go on to the next poll that's now activated. What did you like about the chat? By the chat, I mean the call today. What did you like about what was helpful, what was useful, what was relevant? Comments? Okay, Associa. Guest speakers and comments, all right. The X factor, that was David's term, good. Roles, differing, kissing tree, all right, good. Playa, good. Learning about Slido, okay, good. I'm glad you learned that. I think Slido, and by the way, Brookfield has an account for Slido. I think they have a couple of accounts, but I know that Krista Ellingson, who's in Calgary, she oversees our communication and is responsible for Compass, our intranet. She is encouraging team members to use Slido for those that need it for these type of purposes. And you could certainly see that there may be a benefit for us, even working with our lifestyle responsibility, potentially for engaging our homeowners or audiences for this type of feedback. Thank you for the votes for Brent. I appreciate that. Seeing what things are being done in other areas. Okay, good. Good to hear. Learning about a different community. Okay, good. Collaboration. Slido, good. Okay, very good. Those were 13 votes. Okay, thank you for that input. Very good. So before I move on to the next slide, we have just a couple of minutes, and that pretty much concluded the discussion for today. So I want to open it up then for any questions that you may have of any of our speakers today, or for me, or any comments that you might have. The speakers, again, we had David Orr of Associa. We had Sandra Kitashima talking about Playa Vista and their newsletter, and then Tabitha Walsh helped us about Kissing Tree and the things happening there, as also talking about pickleball and the great things they're doing there. If you do want to make a comment or ask a question, if you would IM, that would be easiest, and that way we're not kind of all talking on top of one another. So just raise your hand by sending an IM. If you just want to send your name, and I'll address the first one that IMs if anyone would like to ask a question. And I'll give it just a few seconds here. Great. So folks, it looks like are going to conclude. If you do have a question, let me know. Just wanted to let everyone know, and this is the final slide as well, is that our next call is scheduled for Thursday, May the 3rd at 10 a.m. Pacific. Really appreciate all of you investing your time this morning. Thank you again to all of our presenters today, our speakers, if you will, and sharing a bit about the things that are happening in your area. And thanks to everyone for your passion in really making us leaders in terms of lifestyle and really building out our communities. We want to stay on certainly that leading edge. So congratulations to all the pioneers and all your success. Keep it going. And we'll probably plan to talk to you in various ways between now and our next call, but we'll definitely all get together then on Thursday, May the 3rd and talk then. So everyone enjoy the rest of the day. Mahalo, Egan. Thanks for all the comments. Have a great day, guys. Take care. Thanks again. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.